It is Sunday, March 8th, 2026, and my AI tried to help by renaming our show file to Final For Real Vintage Mixdown V2. So yeah, we're living in the future. Welcome back to Blue Lightning Daily. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Riley. And yes, this whole episode is cooked by automation, like end to end. If you hear a weird breath or a sentence that feels like it came from a confident spreadsheet, that's just the robots expressing themselves.
Today's main story is OpenAI dropping GPT 5.4, and it's a very specific vibe. Not look, pretty, or writing. It's, we're trying to be your production pipeline now.
It's giving middle manager, but make it agentic. Like less poetry, more throughput. More context, more tool use, more pick your mode so you can choose speed or depth depending on what you're doing.
Exactly. Bigger context, stronger reliability, and this push toward computer-using agent workflows. And up to a 1 million token context in some experiences, that's a whole creative team's group chat, plus the brand book, plus the client's 12-page email where they say, quick thought, and then ruin your weekend.
Wait, hold up. Before everybody starts cramming their entire Google Drive into one prompt, can we just say it? Big context is not the same as good judgment.
Thank you. Big context doesn't magically make taste. It just reduces the, sorry, can you paste that again loop? Which, honestly, that loop is where my will to live goes.
Context fragmentation is absolutely a top-tier time waster. The constant re-uploading, the constant summarizing, the constant, here's the doc again, but now I changed 2 lines. If GPT 5.4 actually holds onto a real project folder worth of info, that's a win.
The blog post we ran this week called it out perfectly. It's trying to move AI from drafts to done. Not literally done like publish it and go touch grass, but done as in fewer handoffs, fewer tabs, less courier work where you're just dragging outputs between apps like an exhausted little content goblin.
Okay, but Hunter, let's talk modes. The pick your mode thing is going to be chaos in teams.
Because you know what's going to happen. Everyone picks speed.
Everyone picks speed, and then they're like, why does this launch script have the emotional depth of a toaster manual? Like, bestie, you picked speed. You asked for a sprint and got a sprint.
It's so true. If you're a creator or a marketing team, you have to set norms. Like, speed mode is for variations, hooks, alt headlines, metadata, quick storyboard passes. Depth mode is for narrative arc, claims, compliance-sensitive copy, positioning, and anything that can't afford to be a little off.
Also, you need a mode police. Not a real cop, obviously. Just someone who's like, hey, maybe don't run the CEO announcement in speed mode because you're in a hurry.
Yeah, a creative ops person with permissions. Which actually connects to the question, who's the first person in an org you'd trust with the full 1 million token context?
Not the intern. I love the intern, but the intern is naming files US start release one title. We're not giving them the keys to the context kingdom.
I was going to say brand or ops first. Because if you treat context like a curated folder, not a junk drawer, you can actually make the model consistent. Brand guidelines, voice examples, banned phrases, product truth, past campaign lessons.
I'd do brand plus legal together, honestly, because the dream is the model is generating at scale, but it's grounded in what you can actually say. That's how you stop volume marketing from turning into we just spammed 400 assets and called it strategy.
That line is the whole game. Throughput is amazing, but throughput without taste and QA is just noise with a budget.
And quick ecosystem check, because the last week has been wild. We talked about Adobe Firefly services turning creative production into APIs, right?
Yep, that's the other big puzzle piece. Adobe is basically saying, stop hand editing 10,000 crops, call an API, batch it, ship it. OpenAI is saying, stop hand walking tasks between tools, let an agent do the clicking.
And Google's Gemini Lite is like, stop paying premium prices for bulk work, use the cheap, fast model for the variant factory. So the trend is super clear. The industry is shifting from chatbots that write to systems that produce.
Totally. And that's why GPT 5.4 is interesting even if you don't care about the model wars. It's the workflow story. Bigger context plus better tool use equals less friction.
Okay, but I want to challenge you. The agentic computer use thing. What is the most realistic workflow you think will work reliably this year without turning my day into babysitting a confident toddler with admin access?
Great constraint. I think the most realistic is content QA and packaging. Like, it can take a folder of assets, scan for missing metadata, broken links, inconsistent naming, and then prep a clean export list, or even assemble a report draft.
Yes, that's boring, which is exactly why it'll work.
Exactly. Boring is bankable. Another one, repurposing one long source into many deliverables as long as you keep the final publish step human. Like, take a podcast transcript, generate short clip scripts, write captions in platform-specific tone, produce a posting calendar draft.
I'll add one. Ads testing. Not make the whole campaign strategy, but generate structured variations inside guardrails. Hooks, angles, CTAs, and then route the best candidates to a human for taste and compliance.
That's where the modes are actually useful. Speed for the flood, thinking for the finalists.
But you have to set up checks, because if context fragmentation is dying, what replaces it as the top time waster?
Toolchain chaos, 100%. People will have 15 tools, 5 agents, 3 automations, and then spend half their week debugging why the agent put the TikTok caption into the invoice field.
And then we'll get the weekly "why did it do that" post-mortem, where everyone is staring at the workflow like it's a crime scene.
Which is why I keep repeating the rule, automate the steps you can verify cheaply. Keep humans where mistakes are expensive.
Okay, let's address the elephant. 1 million token context sounds like a flex, but it can get pricey. So creators, don't just do it because you can. Use it when it replaces hours of back and forth.
Right, use it for deep audits, big project ingests, and continuity-heavy work. Don't use it like a junk drawer where you dump every thought you've ever had and then wonder why the output is mush.
Also, quick meme caption for this launch. When the model finally remembers your brand guide, but now it also remembers your cringe first draft.
Oh no, the AI has receipts.
The AI always has receipts.
So net for creators and marketers, GPT 5.4 is a workflow upgrade. Less re-explaining, more reliable tool use, better ability to act, not just talk. But it doesn't replace taste, and it doesn't excuse lazy strategy.
And if you're building a stack right now, the meta move is routing. Cheap, fast models for bulk tasks, heavier modes for higher stakes, and production APIs like Firefly for the actual asset churn.
That's the creator future systems. Not single prompts, not magic buttons. Systems.
All right, we're going to bounce before our AI producer renames this episode Final V7. Thanks for hanging with us on Blue Lightning Daily.
Appreciate you. Go check out bluelightningtv.com for AI news and updates, and subscribe so you don't miss the next batch of robot chaos.
Catch you next time, and please, for the love of good metadata, stop naming files final.